Mate, g'day traders, Sam here. One thing I did leave out in the previous post or video post is talking about the macro level and the warning signs and the key levels that I think are important to watch. So here I have my current Binance Bitcoin chart. In non-logarithmic, I've placed a channel, and on this chart I have the daily 20 EMA, the weekly 10 EMA, and the weekly 20 EMA. And I'm using those reference points for historical purposes to demonstrate that these are significant and it's healthy for this to pull back. So in my mind, if this line is broke, then we are more likely to revisit the weekly 10 EMA, which has confluence to this level of support at this point, and then potentially to the weekly 20 EMA. So let me put the business case as to why this is likely to happen. So I'll look at something with historical data, which is Bitstamp. As you can see on the chart, I've drawn the lines, which looks like a wedge. Okay. So if this is the actual breakdown of the wedge, and it's in logarithmic, if I take the logarithmic off, then you can argue that it's not. Let's see, it's on the line. So this is the hard part, the confusing part. Which one do you go with? Okay. So in essence, if this was to break down, then we're pretty much confident with the call. If we use this non-logarithmic, we are saying that's already broken down. So what can we use to demonstrate that it has or hasn't? So I'll use the RSI. So you can see with the RSI, it keeps you honest up to a point. And we've got 3 touches to the top, showing on the daily that we have a big bearish divergence, hence the price being pressure down. This indicator does the same. We have the bottom, the support, and what you could notice here is on the daily, the RSI is about to either be above or below the 50%, which signifies trend. So if the RSI drops below 50% and closes below 50%, it might indicate that a trend is imminent. So here it hasn't, and it went back up. But the thing is, in this stage, there was no bearish divergence on the pullback. This was a bearish divergence. We had that pullback. So this level is pretty much predominantly support, and it's an important line. Now let's look at historical data to see what that means. Okay, so let's go to 2017, and I'll pick an example where there's 3 peaks on the RSI, and when it comes down to the 50%, it still stays sideways. But what you can see is an ascending triangle, and then the breakdown. And the breakdown happens once it drops below the 50%. So this was struggling around the level, and once we had a defining drop, similar to this one, which is 50%, we have this deep pullback. First, it touches the 10 EMA, as you can see, on the weekly, and then the 20 EMA on the weekly. If you look at our chart, well, let's look at this chart historically. This is the daily chart. The orange and the purple signify the weekly 10 and 20. And you can see it's not unusual for that pullback to happen. Okay, so if we look at that pullback from that top bottom to the top, 0.618. is where we'd find support. And I'm sure it's pretty much 0.5 or 0.618 in a bull run. Yep. So here if we correlate to our chart, we're probably here where we might have our first experience of a deep pullback. Okay, so let's go forward. Excuse me. So you can see that since we broke out into the bull trend, we have not had a deep pullback. So as this might pull back slowly, this price will come up, and it's potentially going to be around here or there. So let's apply the Fibonacci and using historical reference 0.618 or 0.5. So 0.618 is basically the weekly 10 EMA, and potentially as this goes up, it goes sideways, this RSI could potentially get to the 0.5 weekly 20 EMA. And it makes sense that this will be a strong support level where it was previous resistance, but we would probably see this level as being support on the 0.618. That value is roughly 46k, and currently the 10 EMA 47. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at now. If we put it into perspective, what we expect as a breakdown, let's put the channel back in place. And I'll just go to the Binance exchange where all the previous charts are. We're anticipating, we're not saying it's going to happen, but this is what we're looking for. So if I was to do from low to high, you can see, whoops, why I said it's a 0.5 fib level as support. And if I did the same, let me just pull this back a bit. From this low, swing to swing high, you can see that 0.5 is a support as well. And we have that bottom support line or the channel. So if we do the same here, from this level to the top, you can see that this point is 0.5. So that's why it becomes very important that we stay above this level, and it signifies if we break below this level and we come down here, I would think that it's going to be a change in trend. So this support level is where I said, well, I'm interested in jumping in, which signifies that, and in previous post, my area of interest, which is about 52k, 51 to 52k. So we might see a wick come down, and I'm ready for that. And hopefully price continues on. I have a gut feeling. So we have this line, and we have this bottom line as a triangle. Or okay, sorry, we can do this as well. Bring it down to where we support is, and potentially we could go sideways. If that was to happen, that would be a nice bullish response, not dropping down pretty quickly. But as I said before, if you see this breakdown, that's likely that prices drop below, and that's a bearish sign, and chances are that we hit that as resistance and we continue going down to one of these levels, either that or to that. That's what I'm thinking at this point of time, and hopefully that explains a few things to look out for, levels, and where to potentially exit and short. All right, guys, thanks for that, and good luck with your trading. If you've got any comments, appreciate it. Please give me a like and share this. Thank you.